Eternal Sunshine was released on March 8, 2024, as Ariana's 7th studio album. The album was preceded by the lead single Yes and, released on January 12, 2024. The song received mixed reactions, but it debuted at the top of the Billboard Hot 100. Ariana took a 4-year hiatus before releasing the album because she was busy filming the movie Wicked. There were no song snippets, so how the album would sound like was a mystery to her fans. 7 weeks before the release of the album, she announced the release date and the name on Instagram. The name was inspired by the 2004 film Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, starring Jim Carrey, one of my favorite movies of all time, so I was excited.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is kind of like ignorance is bliss. Like, I'm gonna erase all of the bad so I can kind of enter this eternal bliss, eternal sunshine.
It is a concept album inspired by the movie. The album was primarily produced by the legend Max Martin, as he was involved in the production of 11 songs. Now, let's talk about the album. Right off the bat, the album cover sets the tone with this beautiful and hazy aesthetic. It's a tight 13-song album with a 35-minute runtime. The first track is Intro, End of the World. It's a short cinematic intro about Ariana wondering how she knows if she's with the right person, a question which would be answered by the end of the album. It's a great intro that sets the stage beautifully. The second track is Bye. It talks about the bittersweet feeling of saying goodbye to an on and off relationship. Ariana said in an interview, this was the hardest song to write on the album. It's a bop. I see single potential for this one. Track 3 is Don't Wanna Break Up Again. This was the first song she made with Max Martin for the album. It's the fallout to Bye. It is reflecting on what happened to the situationship. It has that R&B production with smooth vocals. Track 4 is Saturn Returns Interlude. It is a 42-second interlude that samples the 2013 YouTube video by Diana Garland, an astrology counselor. In astrology, Saturn is a teacher concerning itself with karma and the lessons of past experiences. The video talks about how around 29 is an age where we have an epiphany about life. Track 5 is Eternal Sunshine. It is a direct reference to the movie. She talks about dealing with infidelity and wanting to erase the person from her mind and rewrite, just like the movie. The production is minimal, with those hard-hitting 808s. I like the little video game sounds when she says Atari. It is currently my favorite song on the album. Track 6 is Supernatural. On the song, she describes the love that's possessing her as supernatural. It has a low-tempo R&B sound. It's a very catchy bop. Track 7 is True Story. She refers to her leaked song Fantasize on this track. She talks about the homewrecker allegations she has been receiving after she started dating her married co-star on the movie Wicked, Ethan Slater. She called it an untrue story based on all untrue events. It's an addicting song. Track 8 is The Boy Is Mine. It's a direct reference to the 1998 hit by Monica and Brandy. It's a banger where Ariana takes the bad girl role. In an interview, she called it a bad girl anthem. At this time where the late 90s and early 2000s nostalgia is ruling the charts, I think this one has the potential to be a huge hit. Track 9 is Yes and. This was the lead single. It stands out on the album. It has a dance pop sound, which sounds nothing like the other songs on the album. It takes heavy inspiration from Vogue by Madonna. She also released a remix to the song with her idol Mariah Carey. It sounded better than the original. Track 10 is We Can't Be Friends, Wait for Your Love. This was the second single from the album. It could be about a relationship. It could also be a double entendre about her relationship with the media. The video to the song is the plot of Eternal Sunshine. She gets a procedure to erase him from her memory, but somehow they find their way back to each other. Track 11 is I Wish I Hated You. This song captures the complex feelings about a breakup. Grieving the loss would be so much easier if you hated the person, but you don't. So, it's a great emotional song. Track 12 is Imperfect for You. It talks about the beauty of imperfection within a relationship. There is no perfect person for you. You learn to love their imperfections. She said that it was the last song she did for the album, and it is her favorite. Track 13 is Ordinary Things featuring Nana. It is the amazing closer to the album. She talks about how there are no boring times, when you spend it with the one you love. The album ends with a voice note from her grandmother, answering the question she asked on the intro, how she knows she is with the right person. It wraps up the story of the album perfectly. Eternal Sunshine sounds effortless. It felt like she was inspired to make it. She doesn't do any vocal acrobatics on the songs. She is in her comfort zone. It reminds me of SZA's Control for some reason. It doesn't stray too far from Ariana's signature sound. So if you're a fan of her, you will love the album. And if you're not, give it a chance. What do you think about the album? Tell me in the comments below.